Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of Galneryus. Today's song's gonna be Stardust, and I'm gonna be highly disappointed if there's not a lot of sparkles in this. Yuki, I'm looking at you. Yo! The drums. Okay, that's pretty cool. Love the mood switch here. Very groovy and wicked intro. And another pretty poppy verse. Feels a bit like a mix-up between, let's say, Shining Moments and No Exit. The organ is still there. I dig the groove of this. How it flows. The chorus melody really sounds like it's not a main attraction here, but that's not really a problem. Sometimes I really like it if they do that actually. They don't just do it with choruses. Sometimes they also do it with the solos. They're going kind of for the backgroundy atmospheric thing, but it's still melody driven. Sometimes it's a really cool thing to work with. Anyway, I think that's actually another really relaxing chorus. Also reminds me a bit of the Alsati IP. I think that would be a melody which would fit very well into there. If someone would have asked me blindly, I might have assumed that this is part of the EP even. Picking up speed here. The riffage here is much groovier than should be allowed for a song of this type. Nice progression here. The mood from the beginning here. There we have it. That's it, boys. smooth. Oh, that's nice. This went just by so smoothly, and it also wasn't really repetitive. They changed up like all of those little elements there in the end. There was quite some variations of the ideas they introduced in the song later on, so it's like not always the same. The solo, like again, was really nice. And I think it borrowed a lot from the Asashi IP, right? Like, you kind of hear that. This type of sound Yuki used there, I don't think we heard that anywhere else. It would actually be pretty cool if we would see some connections theme-wise in the lyrics later on. And then just, I think after those heavy songs, and this was pretty much a heavy song, like it started off heavy and ended off heavy, it still was pretty chill. Everything with the vocals, the verse, the pre-chorus, and the chorus really leaned back type. But since we're all solo appreciators, I would assume just another peek into that. I think that was pretty cool. From, you know, sunset mood to the dark mood we had in the beginning. The choirs are so cool. I love the sound also. Has a bit of like a weird harpsichord type of feel. This is a very cool mood for the guitar solo as well. And here it lightens up with the sparkles. Very clearly the Stardust. Singing at the night sky, and I just love this transition because they know it's this obligatory dramatic thing, like, oh, this calm section with the piano. They just start off with it and instantly transition into the louder section. With that extremely cool transition. Very nice. I like how they do that all the time. I like the mix of jumpy and dark sounding. It has this very cool raspy aesthetic. I don't know. I would be really interested if you have any like counter examples or anything. But this is like one of the songs again which sounds very characteristically like Galneryus. I don't know any other band which does stuff like this, and this is just very cool. Okay, and this is where we're gonna take a look at the lyrics. I also really like the soothing character they had in the end there. I mean, of course, we have this like night theme. You know, this descending transition they constantly did there, especially in the end, very often. You could almost like interpret it as a, you know, shooting star and stuff. And we also had the sparkles, of course. Like, I wasn't disappointed, Yuki. That was a great job. Yeah, and I'm just curious, like, what they actually sang there. Do you know the sad fact of a victim? Their life is wasted for our life. How is this comfortable system? We just overlook something. It may have been a mistake, it may have been a necessity, there may have been difficulties. Now the time that we express gratitude to everything, oh please pray heartily to the soul. And you have to imagine this is already in the verse. I do think this is already the pre-chorus where the melody starts sounding nice. But we have this somewhat dark and heavy intro. It kind of lies behind us at this point, probably. Yeah, if you remember last song, there was like talk of blood brothers who have died and they carry the weight of that, something like that. And I think they picked that up again here with the sad fact of the victims. They died for us and we live in the comfort of this system. We just take that for granted. We just overlook something. This realization that we should sometimes express gratitude for like what we have, which basically only can exist at the cost of others in one way or another. Oh, please pray heartily to the soul. I don't know if that's very intentional, but I think last time we also had something, we don't even know who we should pray to or something. If I remember correctly, and now it's about praying to the soul. They also seem to have figured out who to pray to. We have to translate that chorus. Wishes fading in the wind, unnoticed by the voice so close. We laugh together, fragile wishes slipping away. Someday I want to remember the warmth of that day. We have memories again. This is probably why we have those sunset vibes again at the end of the chorus, which I always kind of like. We also had that in Shining Moments, so I think maybe that connection wasn't like completely random. Yeah, and it's again, generally speaking, about lost memories, wishes fading in the wind, unnoticed by the voice so close. It's like a fading memory of a past time where like stuff was just brighter, where there were just bigger hopes and dreams, which still are kind of feelable in the wind. That's the metaphor here, I suppose, but you cannot quite grasp them. This might also why they're saying here, someday I want to remember the warmth of that day, because you don't really, you can't really remember the feeling, you just know that it was there. Hope at some time in the future you might be able to relive that again. So in some way, probably another nostalgia-driven song. I also like how at this point you just notice from the like musical language what it might be about. It's pretty cool to me. Do you know the sad fact of abuse? Their life wasted for our life. How was the experiment done? We just overlooked something. It may have been a mistake. It may have been a necessary. I think I understood necessity, but then again, not sure about the pronunciation here. There may have been difficulties. Now the time that we express gratitude to everything, oh please pray heartily to the soul. So the only thing different here is the verse. I think this line, do you know the sad fact of abuse and how was the experiment done? It's interesting that an experiment is mentioned here. I mean, what I might get from this is certain stuff which was attempted in the past, like in the story over the past songs, even from the preceding album already. There was some type of experimentation of like where we should go next. And, you know, in the course of this experimentation, you of course do a lot of mistakes and a lot of unfortunate stuff might happen. And this might be like the sad fact of abuse, which just emerged in there. Perhaps even a reflection of the creative process, like for this album. It might be plausible since they split up after this. So yeah, we don't know. 2 choruses. In the wind, a life freezing, a dream left behind, quietly closing my eyes, in the cold rain, a life trembling. Someday I want to remember the warmth of that day. In the wind, a light freezing, reaching out my hand to the distant starlight, offering prayers as I believe. Someday I want to remember the path leading to the future. The wind is freezing now. I think the dream characterizes warm as left behind. In the cold rain, a life trembling, so we really have this like cold feeling. Back again, someday I want to remember the warmth of that day. There was some musical stuff which pointed at the sky where sparkling came in and stuff, you know, reaching out my hand to the distant starlight. You can kind of easily imagine listening to that song, offering prayers, I believe someday I want to remember the path leading to the future. And that path might have also been forgotten, similar to those days of the past. But I still like how, right, somewhat cozy the song is. It's cold, I'm standing in the rain, I'm looking at the stars, but somehow it's still I wouldn't say optimistic. You know, it's melancholic, but it's not like really sad. There's a weird type of comfort in all of this. Not very turbulent or stressful. And then we have this thing they, I would assume, sing together. Stardust is falling down to the ground. We found small light in the wind. We raise our hands for the starlight. We pray with reverence. Stardust is falling down to the ground. We found a small light in the wind. We raise our hands for the starlight. We found a small light in the wind. We raise our hands for the starlight. That's kind of confusing to read. But remember how I said something about a shooting star with a descending type of thing? Stardust is falling down to the ground, right? Like it's trickling down in a way. And I like how this looking and praying at the stars is really, yeah, of course, like I'm wishing for a shooting star so I can have a wish and stuff, but also how it has more of that reflective mood. It's not this very burning hope, like I want to have that very specific thing, please give me that. That would be a more day-themed thing. I think always with the night, it's like more dialed back. The wishes here are left open and spread across the night sky. If I like want to put it in a very cheesy way, it's more about really distant hopes, which are also very unspecifically formulated. And this is of course portrayed by the song, which isn't going like all in catchy melodies and stuff. But as I mentioned, these very chill, not very prominent, but still very good melodies, surrounded by this dark intro and outro, the stuff coming before and stuff coming after. We had a very tedious song before, and there might be like something else awaiting after this, but this is just this little resting spot in between. And who wrote this exactly? Yamabi and Shu. I just stopped guessing at this point because it could have been written by literally anyone. I'm constantly surprised. Very enjoyable. I hope you liked it as well. Next episode is gonna be Face to the Real probably. Hope you tune in and see you next time.